Yo guys, what's up? It's Rare Coin here today. I want to talk a little bit about the combat achievements and what my kind of plans are, cuz they came out and everyone thought they were going to be super hype and stuff, and I think everyone kind of got the wrong idea about what they were intended for. So, I think they were really more intended for people to kind of push the back. Like, you're not supposed to go complete them all. That's awesome for the people who went and completed them all, but they really weren't there for the average player to go complete. What the achievement diaries in my mind were was the ability to test how good you are compared to some of the accomplishments other people had. And actually, RuneScape 3 did this too, where for the completionist cape, they took previous achievements when it was created of other players, like Castle Wars, I believe, had like 5,000 games of Castle Wars or something. I think they did dull that down to 500 for the completionist, and then 5,000 was like the trimmed completionist or something in RS3. But I think the real purpose of them was more to inspire people to try and get better at the game. And whether or not you do that through a maxed main with all the money in the world, or an Iron Man, or maybe even playing a hardcore, I think that's really where the game was intended to go with creating the combat achievements. And I don't think it should be something that anybody like strives for, because in my personal opinion, I think they're going to add to it as things come out. As raids 3 come out, there's going to be stuff added to that, and it's going to be adjusted and tweaked. You're going to have challenge times that seem really hard, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I can do this 20 minutes faster. And then all of a sudden they're going to be like, well, we don't want everyone just beating it easy peasy for a master challenge or whatever, so they'll change the time. And I think we'll see a lot more of this in the future. They did this with the Nightmare of Ashihama. It was kind of left out of the combat achievements, and then all of a sudden, about a week ago, they added in like 8 or 9 combat achievements for it. And while this doesn't necessarily make me want to go to the boss and like try it out, I did really have fun uh, trying them out for the most part. The combat achievements, it did inspire me to go somewhere I'd never gone before. I went to DK's. It was actually pretty crazy. My first trip ever. I completed almost my entire task in my first trip. In the 20 years or whatever that RuneScape's been out, or in the 19 years since DK's or whatever, I never gone there. Like, I went there, I got to do the combat achievement, or not the combat achievements, but the achievement diaries to kill like one of each of them. Way back, even before the collection log came out and everything, and they weren't a boss that really, struck me as all that interesting. And but with the combat achievements and having like a couple of them, like killing them all in one trip and doing special things and stuff, I thought I'd just give my give my hand a toss in there and just try it. I didn't look up any guides or anything. I kind of knew what to do before because I've seen a lot of videos of people doing them, whether it's in the background or maybe somebody streaming. I know Rigondow on Twitch like streamed a lot of them for a while and stuff, and he's got like 20,000 of each kill or something. And I've seen him kill the DKs. I've seen a lot of people like just trying to do it, and I just went in there with the idea of like, I know the one with the red spikes is the major, and I know the one with the green spikes is the ranger, and the guy with no spikes is the meleeer, and you have to use the combat triangle. And I know a little bit about the safe spots, and I'm a fairly experienced player in terms of like understanding how like monsters walk and stuff. As long as I get like the initial like, okay, they move that way and they're always going to move that way in this instance or whatever, it's not too hard for me to like kind of adjust and stuff. So I managed to safe spot Rex most of the time. I managed to get them all off tick for when they were attacking me or when they were spawning. And occasionally I'd kill some of them early or some of them late, and you can't help that with RNG when you're like trying to wait and then hit 5 zeros, but that's okay. The main point was that the combat achievements got me to go do something that I had never really gone and done before. And now I think I'm taking that step to the next level. I did create a hardcore Iron Man, however, I found really quickly that what I wanted to do was maybe not within my capabilities. And the general principle was I wanted to be the lowest level hardcore Iron Man to get fairy rings without any bugs or glitches like Rendy and stuff. And that sounds super easy to just go get fairy rings super early, but it's really not. The process takes a lot of time and effort. You pretty much have to have Ring of Recoils, and so you're gonna have to have 7 magic at some point, and you're gonna have to get cosmic runes somehow. Um, so the basic route that you have to take is you have to complete Lost City either without gaining any magic XP or any XP whatsoever, or gaining a very little amount. The way I chose to go about this was to just take in some wind strikes with some fire runes in case I made it to level 9 magic, and I just went from 1 magic to I guess it would be about maybe like 8 magic I hit or so, and that was just with the wind strikes, killing the zombies, trying to get a bronze hatchet so that I could kill the tree spirit. And in this circumstance, I actually had a hardcore die already, and so I was more focused on the fact that, I need to get really lucky here. The last hardcore took like 400 wind strikes to be able to beat both guys, and I only had 281. And I actually went in there. It cost me like 130 wind strikes or something to get 2 kills on zombies, and lucky enough for me, the second drop was a bronze hatchet. So I saved a bunch of time and runes there. I saved a bunch of combat levels, and then I went and I ended up finishing the tree spirit off with like 15 casts left or something. It was something ridiculously close, and I don't think any amount of RNG would ever potentially beat that, starting from level 1 magic and ending at, I think I was like level 13 magic or something. But my RNG didn't stop there. I got a ring of a sapphire ring actually from Bird's Nest, actually from chopping wood. And so I went in to the wilderness. I went to the rune shop on the hardcore Iron Man. I bought some cosmic runes so that I could enchant it. And from there, you now have to do Priest in Peril, and you cannot use magic against the Temple Guardian. You have to basically melee it or recoil it. So this is where the recoil ring was super handy. The boss has 45 HP, and it has no defense, but it hits constant 3s, 2s, and 1s. So I knew it was going to be like the Ring of Recoil was going to do most of the work. However, I decided to end up recoil flinching it, just so that if I ate a piece of food, I wouldn't take an extra hit in between. And I had enough salmon and trout just to kind of like eat through it. So I'd flinch it, and every time I'd get to 3 or 4 HP, I'd eat a salmon or trout and go back to my 11 HP. And so that was something that was really key and important to my strategy. And I ended up making it through that quest and everything without dying and everything. And then I made it to Ghasts. And my first hardcore actually died because I stopped in Draenor Bank and someone lured a Dark Wizard in, which sounds really dumb. Like, I never expected that to happen in a members world for someone to be that kind of asshole. But I guess it happens, and that's how the first hardcore died. And that's why I restarted. But for this one, I made it all the way to Nature Spirit, and I started doing it, and I was like, okay, I bought some fire runes, or I bought a fire staff, actually. I bought some more air runes, mind runes, because I knew I had to kill 3 ghasts for this quest, and recoiling probably just wasn't going to work because I'd have to have way more than the amount of food that was capable to hold in my inventory. I needed to have recoil rings that were unequipped because snails and Mort Mire attack you as you're running through. And so there was a whole lot going on, like, as I was trying to like run through the swamp and stuff. And by the time I made it to my first gas, it ended up targeting me when I had 9 HP left. And if you don't know, there's like a small stall when a gas first targets you and the druid pouch activates, where it doesn't actually attack for a second. And I think it's like a 1 tick delay or something, but it makes the next hit come very quickly after the first hit. And so I didn't know this was going to happen, and what ended up happening was it hit me twice for 2 threes, and then my reaction was not good enough to click on the food. Instead, I clicked the staff because I didn't want to be like auto retaliating or anything against the snails because I didn't want to waste XP or anything. So I clicked the staff when it hit me the double threes, and then the immediate hit after was a 3 as I clicked the food, and it killed me. And so now I'm a regular iron, but it's taught me a lot. And I think that's really where the combat achievements are supposed to come, is, you know, you're supposed to come and try new things, and you're supposed to use that knowledge that you have in the game to see what are you really capable of. Could I really solo Theater of Blood? Probably not, but I can do it on an alt with maxed gear and the easy mode, but that doesn't mean I can just do it solo. And I think that's really where the combat achievements really come in, because they're what makes people strive to try and accomplish something that they've never accomplished before. And I think Jagex did a really good job. This wasn't anything that was supposed to stimulate the economy or something. It was supposed to give the mid and high tier players kind of a path to go on, and that's kind of why I started like an Iron Man. I have a max main, I have a fairly high alt, and they can do anything in the game they want. But what I haven't really been able to do is test my ability to kind of scavenge the drops myself and, you know, play with that kind of game style. And I think it's just about time. And if you guys want to see any progress, I'll occasionally be streaming on Twitch. I'll try and do it as much as I can, but a lot of stuff is boring. You know, running on laps for agility for like 20 hours to get graceful. I'll stream Winter Todd and Temporos and stuff, and we'll see how that goes. But if you guys do think that the Achievement Diaries were supposed to be more than just something to encourage other players to, you know, jump out of their comfort zone and try and achieve something they've never achieved before, then let me know. What do you think Achievement Diaries were, the main purpose of them being released was? Was it just to give people something to do? Was it to influence people to try some, like, PVMing things that they've never tried before? Was it just so that people who are really good at PVM could be like, haha, I'm better than you? Because, my honest opinion, they can already do that. They have an Inferno Cape, probably. If you don't have an Inferno Cape and you're bragging to other people, you should just stop. Just don't do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to hear what your guys' opinions on the combat achievements are down in the comments below. And if you could leave a like, it really helps out, especially just starting, even sharing the video with friends and showing it to them. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.